Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different video today, actually showing the tarot cards. So excited to do this type of video. Let me know if you guys enjoy it. Before I got started, I was channeling some messages from the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. For the Divine Masculine, I have these pre-made notes that I pull from, and I got rest more and let go of fear. And then for the Divine Feminine, I got he is coming to claim you and take charge. So what I was feeling for the Divine Masculine is that he's in self-doubt, he's in fear, he's in this state of wanting to keep up with the Joneses. And for the Feminine, I got this channeling of really needing structure and coming into her power and believing again that she can manifest these dreams, that she wants to have hope, to understand that your Divine Masculine will enter into your life, and just really taking charge of your own journey. So we'll go into some of these tarot cards and then we'll get into some of the love messages from these cards that I have. I'm being guided. I want to start with the Astral Realms cards. Let's see if we pull something for the Divine Masculine first. See what's happening with him. I really feel like the Divine Masculines, they opened up their hearts recently. You may have felt it. It was kind of like almost in a way of love bombing, and then all of a sudden they pulled back. So, but can we get some clear messages on what this Divine Masculine needs to know and needs to focus on? Okay, it took a while, but we got the initiation card. So I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook on this one. But when I was channeling before this video, I did get a card that I pulled prior, and it was regarding initiation. So the masculine is definitely going through their initiation period. They may be being triggered a lot right now, which assists in the initiation process as their ego and things that are from an ego space come up. So this is the part that I believe is meant for it. To begin your initiation, it would be prudent to face your past and your deep-seated fears, for which aragonite is the perfect crystal. So that goes back to this message that I pulled that says, let go of fear. So the masculine is definitely in this state of things being brought up, being triggered, and they are fear-based, and they're learning to let these go. Now let's see if we can get a card for the Divine Feminine. What is going on with the Divine Feminine collective? I just heard sit still. And I take that as meaning sit still. Let your intuition make itself present to you. Let your inner voice be heard. The Divine Feminines are really being called to celebrate themselves, to love themselves, to remember their innate powers and abilities that they have in this world, and to really take ownership of her life and to understand that what is right in front of her is hers, and it does not need to only be with this Divine Masculine. So the healing card came out for the Divine Feminine. So she's really in this state of healing, which the Divine Feminine has been in this state for quite some time now, so I'm not surprised that this card came out. So she's definitely healing a lot of her own wounds, a lot of her past. You can see that this is a mirroring effect going on here. So let's go now to the energy oracle cards and get more clarification on what is happening. And door to spirit was on the bottom, the number 32. So that comes out to 5. So change, a lot of change is happening. And all of this is leading to the opening of spirit, to reconnecting with spirit in a deeper way. And the Sun card. So these are all leading to new beginnings. So everything that's happening right now is leading to new beginnings, even if it doesn't feel like it. What is happening in the physical 3D with these divine masculines? What messages can we get? Goddess of the Moon. I just heard raising awareness. Coming into divinity. So the masculines are really gaining more awareness, connecting with their intuition, with their more feminine side, their softer side. They're being called to sit in silence more and allow this connection to their own divinity to blossom. The first chakra. Yeah, they're reforming their stability. You may have, if you're really connected with your divine masculine, then you could really be feeling some of these root chakra pains in your body. So we have, they're connecting with their divinity, they're reestablishing their root chakra. So their root chakra is coming into higher balance because of this new mindset, this new intuition that's coming in. And it's ultimately setting them up for new beginnings to come through. And I also see the angel of strength here. So they're really being guided to hold on to their strength. What is the divine masculine currently working on? Or what does their higher self need them to know? So the door to value came out, remembering their value, remembering their worth. And there's money on this card. And you remember earlier I said that they're in this state of wanting to keep up with the Joneses. So I think they're really coming through and learning that value does not necessarily mean monetary value. So it doesn't mean how much money they make. It doesn't mean the material possessions that they own. They're really being called to look deeper and dive deeper within themselves. And yeah, with the heart chakra coming out, they're really being called to keep opening their heart. Their heart is opening, and to not close it off, and to remember that their value comes from intrinsic value, comes from internally within them. You may have seen your divine masculine if you guys are connected in the physical, or if you felt him energetically. You may feel as though he put a lot of more focus on the 3D world recently. And the thinking woman came out. Can I get more clarity around this thinking woman? But just understand, divine feminine, that if you are seeing this in your divine masculine, that they are focusing more again on the material world, that they think that what they have is what makes them worthy. If you're seeing this, it's because this new connection with the goddess of the moon in the first chakra, it's because these emotions, these feelings, this path, this reopening into this new beginning is coming up. And so things are the ego is having to rise and being reflected in their world for them to establish a new connection with money, a new connection with the material world, and understand that their value does not stem from that any longer. What must be let go has to first come to the surface to be let go. So the thinking woman, I'll read a little bit from the guidebook on this. So it says this could also be a new love interest with a woman who is thoughtful, conscious, and aware. So these divine masculines, they're very aware that all of this will eventually lead to a new love, to a love with someone who's conscious, who is connected to her intuition. This is what his soul wants. He does want this connection with this woman, but he's going through all of this first. But do know that he is aware of you and he wants this new relationship. With the World card, this has hope, but it's also a very, if you look at the card, it's also a very lonely feeling. So I get the sense that these divine masculines are feeling very alone right now, which happens, as we know, with the spiritual awakening and these new paths that enlighten us. We can oftentimes feel very alone. I feel like he's feeling very alone, but he also understands that that means, and he sees that the world is open to him. He's starting to come into that knowing more. Okay, what else is going on with this divine masculine? What is going on? As you guys know, for you to come into union with your divine masculine, you must first come into union with your own self. So we all have the inner divine masculine, the inner divine feminine within us, and we need to come into inner union before a union can happen in the physical. So let's find out, what does this divine masculine need to know or work on to come into inner union within his own self, within his own masculine and feminine energies? I just heard, I'm ready to embrace you. So this divine masculine is really opening his heart right now. He's trying to open his heart. It has been opening, but he's been fearful about this. But he's trying to open his heart and he's ready to embrace you. He feels as though he's becoming ready to embrace you in the way that is sensitive and soft and powerful, and that divine masculine that this divine feminine deserves. He's ready to embrace you in this way. And I pulled the deceit card. So he's really, and I heard denial for this deceit card. So to come into inner union with himself, he's working on his denial of what he wants in this life, anything that is going against what his desires, his heart, his soul is telling him that he wants. He was in denial of his feelings. He was in denial of his opening of the heart. And he's having to face that denial. And he's having to choose to keep that open. Walking away and community came out. So with these two cards coming out together after the deceit card fell out, tells me that this divine masculine, he was in denial about relationships in his life that were not serving him any longer as he's going through this awakening process, as he's going through this initiation. So he's walking away from anyone in his circle, anyone in his life that is not serving him. That maybe used to be close friendships, maybe old karmic relationships. He's walking away from these because he realizes that they are no longer serving his highest good, and they're actually keeping him from the path that he's meant to be on, keeping him away from the divine feminine and the love that he wants and the love that he knows that is out there for him, and just keeping him from his own divine path, his own divine nature. So let's pull a card. What does this divine masculine, what is his divine masculine's higher self saying to him? What is his higher self saying to the divine masculine right now? Magician in the Mirror. That is one of the cards that I believe is a very strong twin flame card. I know other tarot readers who use this deck feel the same, because the man is balancing a blue flame and an orange flame. So his higher self is telling him to remember that this is the path he's on, to remember that this is all a journey, and that the door to romance fell out, and to remember that all of this, all of the struggle that you're going through, Divine Masculine, the breaking away of the material world, the breaking away of only feeling valuable for the money that you have or the things that you have, and trying to keep up with the Joneses, people in your life that you're walking away from, being in self-denial, that all of this is falling away because the door to romance is opening. Your heart is opening. So let's go ahead and reshuffle the deck, and we'll focus on what the Divine Feminine is going through. Okay, what is going on? Just any general messages that the Divine Feminine Collective is currently going through. Okay, so we have the Garden Gate, hostilities, and the Temple Path. The garden and the gate, you see she has her hands tied and she's looking at this gate that's locked, seemingly to be locked, and she can't get through. She doesn't think that she can get through. And this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the reading, where I was channeling that these Divine Feminines are really going through having to reclaim their power, and remembering that they have the power to manifest this dream life that they want, to manifest this connection and union. The Angel of Love is here at the bottom as well. So she's really being called to remember that she has that power. She has the power to open this locked gate. It's within you. And these hostilities, these anxieties, these fears, everything that you're working on healing, the way that you are talking to yourself inwardly right now, maybe you've been more hard on yourself and wondering and being frustrated as to why things aren't happening. These feelings of hostilities inwardly, you're being called to release these and to remember you are on your path. This is part of your journey. It's okay. You haven't fallen off the path. You are on your path, Divine Feminine. This is all part of it. What else is this Divine Feminine going through in her world, in her 3D? I just heard take action, which goes to my message I pulled earlier that says take charge. So Divine Feminine, you're really being called to take action. And that doesn't mean that you have to physically be doing something. I get the feeling that this more so means take action in the sense of bringing back yourself to yourself. So bringing back power into your life. Taking action and taking charge, and remembering that you ultimately get to decide where you go. I feel like a lot of Divine Feminines have fallen into feeling that sense of what the society has put on us in the past, where the masculine has to save the feminine, and that we only rely on the masculine to have this life created for us. Going back to like you know, there's movies and TV shows of old times past in like the 1800s or prior, and the women basically have to marry a man to have a life and to have that stability and have that safety. So we're being called to let go of this. You're being called to remember that that's no longer the way, that we have the power to create our own world. We have the power to bring everything that we want to ourselves, to bring stability, to bring fun, to bring just the life that we dream of. So we have happy family that fell out, which was just speaking, I believe, speaking to the divine feminine and how she truly, this is her desire. She truly does want this happy family, and she needs to remember that this is possible for her, but she has to first take back charge of her own life. The storm warning fell out. Can I get more clarity around this storm warning? What is going on? I heard ego death, so the feminines can be in this ego death, which again goes back to whenever we are being called to remember our power, whenever we feel like we're out of our power and we feel like we're not in control, that we are being called to remember that that is part of an ego death happening. And I think that this is what this storm warning is referencing, is an ego death. And I just heard breaking down, and it's weird because I heard breaking down of chemical bonds, which sounds weird, but I think what that means is breaking down these structures, these bonds to what society has taught us love should be, or taught us what a relationship should be, or taught us how far a female can go on her own. Yeah, the root chakra came out, which came out for the divine masculine as well. So that's a mirroring effect going on. You are reestablishing your root chakra, your stability, your safety within yourself. And then of course, once you come into the stability and safety within yourself, and your root chakra is being kind of shaken up and rebalanced in a new, more healthier way, that's going to be reflected in the outside world as well. So that is what's happening with this storm warning. It's this ego death being shaken up, this root chakra being shaken up and coming into balance. But the ego has to die within that process. Indecision, the indecision card fell out as well. And I just heard making decisions on my own. So again, going back to this structure of feeling like we needed the man, we as divine feminines, we needed the man, or we needed the divine masculine to create this life. We're being called to remember that we can make our own decisions. We can make our own life. I just heard walking away from indecision. So walking away from feeling like we cannot be decisive, walking away from anything that made us feel out of our power, that made the divine feminine feel out of your power. What else is going on with this divine feminine? Goddess of the moon, which also came out for the divine masculine as well. So the goddess of the moon, again, remember your intuition, connect to that inner divinity. Remember the strong divination that is within all of us. Remember, divine feminine, you are this goddess of the moon. You are strong and have faith. Any other messages for this divine feminine? Woman holding a coin. I just heard you can pursue any opportunity you want to. You can create this beautiful physical world for yourself, and you can do so by yourself. You have that power. So a lot happening with the divine feminine and the divine masculine right now. Both are really coming into their power. Their root chakra is being reestablished. They're being told and tested to listen to their inner voice, their inner guidance, also leading to inner union. I always like to pull from these cards, but we'll go to the love, these decks I mean, but we'll go to the love messages, and let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation, see what the divine masculine and divine feminine are saying to each other. I was gonna say, who should we talk to first? Should we talk to the divine masculine first, the divine feminine first? And I heard in my head, let the females talk. Let the feminine talk. Let them speak. Let them be heard. So let's start with the divine feminine. You may have felt like your divine masculine energetically in meditation, in dreams. They've been coming to you a lot. You've been feeling their energy a lot. So it's time to, let's let the divine feminine speak first. What does this divine feminine want to say to the divine masculine? What does this divine feminine want to say to the divine masculine? I just heard wake up. She really wants the divine masculine to wake up. Again, I felt this from the collective, where the divine feminines, while they're working through everything we just spoke about, they're really getting frustrated and they want this divine masculine to wake up. But that's where you have to remember, divine feminine, that your power comes from you. You have the power to still create your life, whether or not your divine masculine is present in it or not. All right, so we got a few messages here. The first one says, I'm grateful that you showed up in my life. I will never forget you or this, or these lessons in love, no matter where we both end up. And then we have, I don't want to miss you. I prefer to think of us as one, even if you aren't present in my physical world right now. Yeah, they're really being called to remember that the energetic union is always there, that separation is a perceived separation. You're never truly apart. I accept you the way you are. You don't need to come up to my expectations. And I wish we were part of each other's daily lives. Maybe someday, but no matter what has transpired in the separation, we are both growing and changing for the better. So these divine feminines, you're really honoring this connection, and you're really loving the divine masculine in his own state of being, with recognizing that he doesn't need to come up to your expectations just for you guys to accept one another, just for you to accept him. She definitely doesn't want to miss him anymore, and she's really trying to come into this state of knowing that they are connected no matter what. It's really powerful messages from the divine feminine. Now let's see, what does the divine masculine want to say back? What does the divine masculine want to say back? I'm hiding the way I truly feel. This goes back to the deceit card that we pulled for the divine masculine, where I heard it was more so denial. Denial of how he really feels about this connection. He's working through that denial. Did I lose you? He's definitely feeling worried that he lost his divine feminine. That's all part of his rebalancing, his restructuring, his initiation. I realize I was selfish. I feel ashamed of that. Any other messages from this divine masculine? I didn't think I could be what you needed or wanted me to be. I have to focus on money and financial stability right now. So again, I don't think that this is necessarily meaning that he needs to truly focus on money for stability. This goes back to the message that I had earlier about keeping up with the Joneses in the material world. I think that they're restructuring their values about money, what that means for them, what financial stability means for them, and reshifting this perspective and reshaping this perspective, and remembering that their value and worth comes from within them and not just solely based on the money that they are coming into. Again, really powerful messages. This top one just reached out to me. I wasn't ready for anything like this. Okay, let's see if we can get some more messages. We'll start with the Divine Masculine this time. What does the Divine Masculine want to say right now to his Divine Feminine? What is he speaking? What is he saying right now to his Divine Feminine? I'm trying to be someone you can trust. I just want to hold you again. I can feel you too. He's really, when he opens his heart, when he's not in denial about his feelings, he's really, and I just got very emotional. I just got this strong wave of emotions. He's really trying. Says, I love everything about you. These Divine Masculines are really trying to open their heart. They're trying to be vulnerable. And you can tell by these messages, and oh my gosh, I feel like I want to cry right now. This is very strong. He truly does love everything about you. He loves you so much. And he wants to be there with you. And he wants to be someone you can trust. And he's working on that. I think about you every night. Yeah, he's really coming in strong here, wanting you to know that he knows it's you, he's with you, he loves you. He desperately wants to be with you. But he can't come from that space of desperation. He needs to come in that space of power. So what's the Divine Feminine saying back to this Divine Masculine? I want you to chase me. I recognized you the moment our eyes met. So yeah, she's really remembering when they met and just how strong that connection is. And even if you haven't met in the physical yet, but you know someone's there for you, you can also read that as I recognize you the way that the moment our eyes meet. So you know that that's coming. I do love you. I just don't know how to show you right now. She's afraid to be vulnerable with him because he hasn't shown up properly in the past. I want to see you again. I just don't know if right now is the right time. I long to be in one with you, union. So yeah, she loves the Divine Masculine. She knows she does. She recognizes him. She wants him to chase her. But with these cards, I want to see you again, but now is not the right time. And I do love you. I just don't know how to show you right now. Because she needs the Divine Masculine to show up for her the way that she deserves, for her to open her heart back up to him. But ultimately, she does long to be in union. Very beautiful messages here. You can see a lot of the mirroring effects throughout this, but it's ultimately going to lead to union. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this reading today. I look forward to doing more styles like this. Yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the next one.